So, we've just done 9 days of boat. How are we all feeling?
Oh yeah, it was very good, and I think Boat Show 2025 was a remarkable event for showcasing water sports innovations, and we were thrilled to have 4Drive represented among the industry leaders, and actually realizing once again that 4Drive is the industry leader. Why do I say that? Because I saw during all these days that not only people that were familiar with foiling knows about 4Drive, but even completely newcomers just were so excited about learning and feeling this new technology. And I think for me one of the best points of the whole event was showcasing in real-time demos in the pool, because in that way I really realized that, thanks also to the commentary of the special Nico, that hundreds of people can literally see in real time what 4Drive is capable of, and that was an incredible experience. And from my side, since my job role is also to manage contacts with dealers and the school, I was so impressed by the numbers of them that approach us because they want to collaborate with us, because they see how accessible and fun 4Drive is. Yeah, it was an incredible experience, and really I want to thank you, Dominic, Jan Paul, and Nico, and all the team that make it happen. And I'm already thinking about 2026, and yeah, that would be great.
I'm thinking about having a long sleep, to be honest. That's about as far as I can get at the moment. I like how you say, and thanks to Special Nico, that's from now on you're going to be, that's how you're going to be referred to, Special Nico.
Special Nico.
But Andrea's right, you did a very special job, and that involved talking to pretty much every German speaker in the whole show, of which there were
many German speakers in Germany.
No. And every single commentating for every single demo that we did, and doing every tech talk that they let us do on stage. You have a talent, my friend. You have a real talent for interviewing and being interviewed. It's
I'm thinking I'm in a little bit of a different role as a brand ambassador. I don't have to do sales. I don't do the aftermath. So I'm not talking. I'm talking to dealers, but if they are trying to become a dealer, I just forward them to you. So for me, it wasn't because I like the product. I love the product, and it's 100%. So I don't have to bend myself. And I think that's what people really appreciated. I could just go there and say, well, that's a 4Drive, it's a 4 assist, so you have to get some points and get the facts over. And then it's just, they know it's pure motivation from my side. And I'm not telling sales, marketing strategies, it's just from my experience.
Yeah.
And that's what people really appreciated. And they might have seen some videos and they just go, oh, that's a user case, that's yours. That could be mine, would that be an option? And you just go, yeah, it works. What kind of stuff you have? And you just adapt it. And then they have a smile already, because it's in their mind, they're already on the board, pulling the trigger. And that was really nice.
Yeah, I think the combination was really good, where we had the video like right in the middle of the booth. The booth was in a great location anyway, so we had a lot of people just passing by, and then like the video like right away attracted them. That was really good, and I think the overall setup of the booth was also like really amazing. So it was just, the looks was really great, and I think we had a really good team. Like everybody was very proactive and not in a pushy way, still reaching out to people and just asking whether we could help. And of course, if they see the video, people get questions. Like they see, hey, what is this? I've never seen this, and it really made them like eager to learn more about the company and the product, of course. So I think it was a really great setup.
Yeah, and of course, as after the German speaker, the Dutch speaker, you had not much fewer people to speak to, and How's your throat, JP?
Yeah, it's pretty okay. But I think we're all suffering a bit, but no, I think we did a great job. Also, like we worked really hard. It was really funny to see that within 2 or 3 days we just had a drill to set up everything. Like really a team. Like we had a process. Everybody knew what to do. No thinking. Really, not really too much communication. And we just set up a booth, what was pretty big, and we had a lot of things that needed to be done. I think we did it was really efficient how we managed to handle everything.
We were like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Yet I don't understand how we're setting out and putting away the same things every day. I don't understand how it got to be so messy by the end of the thing. I think we need a week to unpack by the time we get back to Holland.
Yeah, we'll be quite busy indeed the coming days. We need to crawl in the office, I guess, just to get over and under boxes to reach our desks and everything.
Yeah.
It's going to be a kind of a puzzle.
Well, following up people, unpacking, I still don't know when we're going to have time to actually get some sleep, so we'll figure it out. So, highlights. What was the most sort of surprising or enjoyable thing about Boat for everybody?
Number one for me was the team, and that's something that's really standing
I
out.
would
like having,
say likewise, yeah, for sure.
Ben, I remember Ben in Fehmarn, and he said it's the Full Drive family, and that's something a lot of brands, they say they are surf related. It's like surfers doing stuff for surfers, but you can really, it's not only the spirit, it's like everyone's really into it. Everyone loves the product, everyone's got a user case, everyone is using it on a different level and on a different situation.
That's beautiful drive, it is so versatile.
The beauty. So it's been, and I think that people really felt that kind of Full Drive family, not only us but everyone else, like all the other brands we are working with, they came along. We had Philippe and Olivia in the pool. You two did a really good job in the pool. It was just amazing, and I think that's really special about Boat, having that pool. And then just across from the pool, you could see the Full Drive flags, and I was always pointing out, like, if you have questions, it's just across the pool, and you could feel the people like looking at the Full Drive in the pool. Then it was a click, because sometimes we had like a setup where you would go on the E-fold position, and someone else, you or Olivia, was just popping up and pumping, and that was really nice to point out the beauties of the Full Drive. Just look at that, red jersey, white jersey, and if you have more questions, just come over. So that was a really nice spirit.
Do want to point out that Andrea gets the prize for the only person who didn't fall off in the demo session.
It was a tech talk session, and then we had a Full Drive session, like a demo session after that. And I just talked to Andrea and I said, if you have any chance to jump in the pool early, just go for it. And during the tech talk, there was supposed to be someone else in the pool, but it just wasn't. So it turned out to be, I think, more than 20 minutes tech talk and demo, and you did like the whole thing. Full driving, pumping, full driving in a row. And because I was doing the talking, I couldn't really watch him, but I had like the idea, like, did he crash at all? No, I think he didn't. So I asked the audience, and I was like, well, I think he did not crash in the whole time. And they were all like, yeah, he did not. And he came back to the booth with dry hair. Like, he usually gets a hair dryer.
Yeah.
So he's pretty safe on that side, but that was amazing. And we did a high five at the end. That was a pretty good one.
That was a bit of a highlight for me at the end of every demo session. I look forward to the high five. So Andrea, what about you? What was your highlight of Boat?
Well, product-wise, for sure, trench board, our trench board and integrated mast. Like, I think that those two things are pushing what is possible to do with Full Drive, and so even making performance-wise Full Drive even better. And I didn't try myself, but we have some early reviews from you and other guys from the team, and really I can't wait to try, because I think they really are so good.
I think that'll be a feature of 2025.
Oh yeah.
Trench boards for sure. Yeah. How about the show in general though? Nothing to do with Full Drive, just what did you enjoy the most?
No, I like the things, in those days we recreated those kind of habitudes that we do together. But since waking up and going in the freezing cold No, I love freezing cold.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, yes, and even when we enter in those huge boat show where there's nobody with the carpet colored by 4-drive things and setting up and then waiting for the people to arrive, all these little details that we do like every day together, I would kind of miss them somehow.
What I think is, sorry.
No, and so yes, even when we go to have dinner together, like exhausted after the whole day.
Yeah.
But it was.
We did slip into a routine, all of us, didn't we?
Yeah,
exactly. Getting up, going to the show, setting up, packing away, then going to the restaurant and literally collapsing afterwards. It's surprising how quick we all sort of got into that routine and let's hope we can quickly get out of it again.
I'm really much looking forward to go back to my family and I miss my kids, but I'm gonna miss you as well. Like
God,
getting up in the morning.
I'm tearing up.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It's the father of family, so it's just
it's been
a really good time
sure.
and a really long time. Like boat is long, and I think they do it for the boats mainly because if you pitch up I don't know, $200 million yacht. That's quite an effort, so they do want to have 2 weekends, but for the surf industry, I think it's a little bit too long for most of them. I really enjoyed it. I think we had a great time. 2 weekends was pretty good.
I enjoyed it, but I'm glad it's once a year.
Yeah. Long hours for sure.
I think something else that's really worthwhile mentioning is I think the boat team and then specifically the Titel we were in touch with like every day already before the event started, but also during the event was like amazing.
Yeah.
They were so friendly. They came up to our booth like a couple of times a day, just asking like, is everything going right? Do you need anything? How can we do the demos? They were so friendly, cooperative, and supportive. I think that's really amazing. Like
very,
really
very professional as well.
Big thanks to those guys.
Definitely.
And I think also the other brands, like the good thing of course of Foil Drive, like nobody sees us as competition. They all like us, they all like our product, so a lot of people just came up to our booth and just had a little chat or took a look at the products. I think that was really great. It was again the community kind of thing, the family kind of thing. That's really, really amazing.
Yeah, for sure. So how about what can we do differently next year? Any thoughts? What can we do better? What else do we want to do next year?
We need a list of all the upcoming events because that's people want to try the Foil Drive. Yeah. And I've got so many people that thought, can I just get one and go on the pool? They're really keen on getting on the board, and it's a steep price, and you need a user case and you need to use it to sacrifice the price, and they see the quality. Like Gen 2 is a really polished product, and I think if we had a list of all upcoming events and maybe a map or something, they could just point out and you just go. We already had the dates for like the big ones, but I think there's going to be a lot more after the boat.
Well, Andrea and me are working on that, and it'll be ready soon. And ironically, the only reason why it's not ready for boat, was because we were so busy getting ready for boat that we didn't have time to finish the event calendar before boat. But next year, yes, for sure, that'll be ready.
What I think is like it's amazing how well it all went. So I think if we would go next year or if we would go to another event, it's just going to be fine-tuning because I think we're already 95% there. Yes, yeah. So there's indeed a few things, like Nico said, a list with the events, a dealer list, price list, maybe just a few small changes in the videos. And then I think we're good to go. It's like, it's been really well prepared, thanks to you mainly,
or
together, but it was really like, it really worked out well.
I agree with you that the videos, I think pretty much all of you have said at some stage that it would be really good rather than to have one huge looping video. I mean, that's good in itself, but if somebody's asking about something specific, then we can literally just go back to the menu and choose the video that person is asking, just to demonstrate, because having that video, like you said, JP, it allowed people to put what might have been a totally unfamiliar product and quite a complex product into context, and they go, oh, I didn't realise I could do that. Oh, that's a really cool. I had no idea there was anything that could do that. and it's a really good way of just instantly communicating some of the potential of foil drive without having to start from scratch verbally every single time. Yeah. So it's a really good platform.
If we tweak it a little bit more tailored to the European market,
exactly
more pumping. We do have a lot of pumping videos already. We just have to put them on the screen.
Pumping and winging as well.
Yeah. You could tell there's I think it's a Mastercraft or a Ski Nautic or something, and there's a lot of foil rowers behind them, and that was something a lot of people could relate to. It's like, oh, we have a boat. We've got like someone wake foiling like one person. I didn't know there could be like 10 in there. And if I don't have a boat and I have a foil drive, I could go, oh, I just sneak in behind the others. So that really, a lot of people could really relate to the rivers and the lakes.
Yeah.
So what about the rest of the boat show? JP, did you ever wonder? Did anything outside of our hall catch your eye?
Well, as you know, of course, I'm a sailing guy, so I did fortunately enough, did find some time to walk around also in the other halls, and it's amazing to see what kind of boats are there. But I think what's also very interesting, of course, we were close to the sailing halls, but there were quite a few people who owned sailboats who said, okay, also on a sailboat I need toys. And of course, it's pretty obvious for the big motorboats that they need toys. But also the sailing guys say, hey, maybe we might not like the e-foiling concept as such, but we really like the foil drive concept, and it would also fit in a sailing boat a bit easier. So I think a lot of the sailing people were really into it and said, hey, this is something really cool. So I think it's also something we should target for the next year. Not only the motorboat guys, but also the sailing boat guys who for sure would be interested.
I can just imagine an effective demo now would be to have a mock-up of a sailing boat and leaning over and picking up a foil drive out of the water.
That would be really
And then
cool.
leaning out and picking up an e-foil and
Flying
over.
Weight was a main concern for every boat owner. Not in terms of having too much weight in the boat, but just the handling. I had one guy and he owned the yacht, and he said, I have 2 flat boards. We're just getting too lazy to get them out of the boat because they're too heavy, and his sons couldn't carry the boards themselves. And he was not only interested in foil. He bought one. We're not selling on boat, but he said he's going to get one, and weight was one of the main reasons.
Andrea, did you spot anything at the rest of the show that caught your eye?
I like as a visual, fast boat. So I went to the Hall 5 and see one of my favorite brand, which is Wally. Very well designed and dream boat. And
is that the one you showed me? The one with the steering wheel that was literally the same as the car, or?
Oh yeah, that was another one. That was it was an electric car, electric boat in collaboration with the Porsche.
Yeah,
it was really driving a Porsche on the.
The Porsche boat was pretty nice.
Yeah,
it was quite spectacular. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah,
but actually, there is one thing that I really didn't like about the boat show.
Oh,
I know.
You know, right? And it was the French cheese of
You do have to explain. I reckon.
Put that in the context. Just explain what's going on.
No, please.
Right. So our booth backed onto the Code booth and another booth. I can't even remember the name, but it was a
Waka Foils.
Right.
I think it was.
So they built this foil system that could just fold down and fold up onto
just like a foil drive, adapt to any existing boat. I think that was
but mainly cats.
So that was the key feature. It's like a retrofit as well.
Retrofit foiling system for catamaran boats, basically. And they had a little mini fridge behind their display, which was literally behind our little seats. And we didn't realise that they'd been storing this very ripe French cheese in there. And then one evening, we were all going, who's done that? That's somebody get the toilet, please. And then eventually we figured out that it was every time he opened the door to get his cheeses, this rather intense aroma with
Yeah, but it stays for minutes.
Not only
Stays
intense,
there for
super
minutes.
intense.
Yeah. But I actually
So,
thought
yeah.
that the thing that Andrea was going to mention was the music as something
Yeah.
that kind of annoyed us because the music was
was
kind of loud.
What's that?
And like for like 10 days or 9 days, a couple of hours a day, the loud music was kind
Yeah.
of brutal.
You're not only talking all day, you're
Yeah.
almost yelling the whole time, and that was exhausting.
Yeah, but at one point during the happy hour, I was doing the demo. I actually enjoying a lot. Was it
Well, that was another.
that was
they
That was one of my
so
highlights.
playing
definitely.
like they play one of my favorite music soundtrack, and so I was starting to like kind to dance while pumping, and that is something that I mean only here in the world can happen during at the boat show. I mean having like this light, like you are in the disco with this super high music, and like having really kind of pool party or happy hour. It is something so special.
It was
that I will
literally a
remember
pool- it was a-
forever.
You can only describe it as a pool party, but with a difference. Obviously, you say
Yeah.
pool party, you think of loads of people jumping in the water and just chilling and having fun, dancing, whatever. But no, this was you, Nico, and a few other people just literally pumping around to some seriously cool tunes, the best light show.
Amazing.
It really made the place look crazy good, didn't it? It was...
Very special moment for me. I grew up 2.5 hours from here, and I've been to boat quite a few times. And as a young kid, I saw all the Björn Dunkerberg, Robbie Nash in that pool, and they did crazy jumps towards the ceiling. Almost hit. I think once they hit the ceiling, and I was standing there as a little boy, just looking at the pool. I was like, oh, one day if I turn a professional, that's gonna be me. And never really happened, but. That night with you in the pool, wearing like a proper jersey on a real demo, and I was like, yeah, that's it. Finally
that's-
made it to the pool.
That's valid. That's
Yeah,
valid.
that's gonna take that back to my graveyard. That's for sure.
None of us hit the ceiling, but a few of us nearly hit the side, didn't we?
Almost. I did it the first day, so
Yeah.
I was shallow. Like just to put it in context, I think it was a meter, almost 1.4 meters, something like that.
It was the
So that's-
shallowest I've ever
Yeah,
foiled in, really.
so-
I mean, if I'm that shallow, I would just carry on walking until I get deeper.
Yeah.
It's,
But it doesn't get deeper. So
no. I did hear that one of the competitors caused quite a big rip in the side, and they
Is
lost, yeah, they lost. This was on the second day. They lost a bit of water. It just drained straight down into the level below. They managed to hot weld it,
Oh, wow.
and it held. They were a little bit worried
Oh.
because apparently it's quite a big rip. The foils that those pro riders were using, they're like swords. They're just so sharp, and the tips aren't.
And that's new. Like the pool's been there for the last 20 years, but now that we have foils, maybe they need to change it. Maybe more,
Just a little bit with that.
more,
Yeah.
another 10 centimeters.
Yeah, it'd be
Well, but
the
for
same.
pumping, it's fine.
Yeah,
It's mainly
if
for
you know
us.
how to pump.
Yeah.
So we really did have a mixture of everyone from all walks of life. We had people that knew nothing about foiling, let alone foil drive. We had people that were very experienced foilers. They maybe had some experience with e-foils or foil assists already. We had loads of industry people, lots of interest from people with schools that want to integrate full drive into their schools, and then of course there's talking to the brands themselves. For me, one of the most exciting things was talking to the public as well as the brands, but the potential for full drive to work with more and more brands. That's really exciting because there was Ensis with their Parawing, and Modular was there for the first 3 days, and he was ripping, doing everything from pumping and winging and messing around with his Parawing, and it was so impressive. I think 2025 is not only going to be the year of the trench board, but it's going to be the year of full drive pump clinics throughout our demo tour. But I really want to start using the Parawings to extend full drive's range of At the moment, I'm using the battery alone to help me e-foil upwind, and when I get down to 30 or 20%, then I turn around and I come back again. But with a power wing, I think on my little prone board, pull the trigger to get up on foil, and then when I'm feeling stable, throw out the power wing, help myself to go upwind. If my arms are getting tired, maybe I'll stow it and carry on upwind with the motor for a little bit and carry on swapping between full drive and the power wing. See how far I can go. I want to set a challenge this year to all foil drivers. How far can you go upwind with a mixture of your battery and a power wing? How far can you go upwind before turning around and coming back down again?
And I think one of the key words you just said was prone board or small board, because if you're using a power wing, you need a big board, and they are not easy to get up on foil. And I think the beauty of the combination power wing and foil drive is having a small board, the ability to get up and then use the power wing, and be able to get up in any conditions. Like you can get up and then you just save battery, and that's a really sweet combo.
And that's what Balls and the guys from Ensis were excited about, because you know, for me, I know a lot of people like those long, narrow, suck down wind boards, but I just don't. I really don't like them. It's all, you know, totally up to the individual as to what they what equipment they like to use and want to use. And those boards, they're necessary to get on foil with a power wing. They're not like a wing that you can pump like crazy and generate the power to get on foil. With a power wing, to go on foil, you have to pump the board. And it's a very difficult skill to learn, and it's if you're in choppy water, it's really difficult. Smooth, flat water, you know, that's the way to start learning. But even when you're good at it, I can imagine myself, I'd be falling off a lot on takeoffs. But you know, I'm pretty good at getting up on foil with foil drive, so that takes that totally out of the equation. All I've got to do now is work on my skills of just riding with the power wing to get me upwind. So yeah, we're going to see a lot of brands coming out with power wings this year. I think that's going to be a big focus in foiling.
Yes.
What's on the cards for 2025 for anyone else?
Like you said, pump clinics. I think that's a big one for Germany. I've got a lot of inquiries, and I think a lot of schools, they have seen the foil drive and they not really grasp the whole potential of teaching. And maybe not only teaching, because it's a shortcut for sure. If you get on, especially in pump foiling, if you learn to pump first and then you go back to a dog start, it's such a shortcut. But I think especially for schools, if they do like a course 3-day or 6-day and you don't have wind in wing foiling, you can just go back and you like, if usually they go, oh, we do something on the beach, just hold the wing, on the second day like that, we did that yesterday.
Boring.
And I think for their customers, it's not only getting on foil quicker and just after a 1-week holiday coming back with actually like a really steep learning curve, but it's also for the schools. They can justify the price money they are taking, having something they can put in a 6-day course in between if there's no wind. So they all came back and they have seen the foil drive before and they said, oh, maybe one day. And I think it was the perfect point to come to boat with such a good, reliable, polished product. And they saw the product and they maybe they've seen it before. They touched it for the first time. And then you go into the details and they say, oh, well, that's like a second safety feature. We got this, and you can customize it by the app. And then they go like, oh, that's cool, oh, that's even cooler. And then you can see they are not only seeing the client with like a steeper learning curve, but they are making money. They see this is a potential user and money case, and I think that works really, really well for everyone. It's a win-win situation.
Going back to pump foiling, I think that most of people, when we talk about pump foiling, they think that it's a kind of boring because it's just, you know, this movement. But I think the boat shows once again that it's actually a lot of fun, not only doing that, but even for people to watch, because it was, you know, this event, the race. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I was impressed by the speed those guys can reach just using the pump. And mastering that technique. It's all part of fun, and the fact that you can do it in any time, any condition, especially in winter time when it's cold. You can.
Not much fun in winter, but
Well, you go in the pool
you don't have
and
to
you
do that where you
practice.
No, but
So-
I think pump foiling, and that's different to the other foiling discipline, is the most social one. So if you're on a wing foil board, you pass each other once in a while. You can say, "Hey, great jump! I saw you," and that's pretty much it. But if you're pump foiling, you have a ladder pitched up, you have the dock, and then there's 4 or 5 people standing around laughing at the one taking a try, and a lot of it's less pumping at the beginning and more fails.
Yeah.
So that makes it really interesting. And then you go like, well, put a little bit more weight on your front foot or stuff like that. It's really social. And for me, because we have like a really nice pump community, it's not only the sport, it's not only the pumping, it's meeting up with the guys. And just after I take my kids to bed, sun's going down, we put up a barbecue sometimes once in a while. We're just like, it's a social event and sportive pump event, and that's different to wing foiling, downwinding.
Also,
That's
it's,
a really nice part of
it's
it.
less related to the weather conditions because
sure, for
the
sure.
others, you know, and so
Yes.
you get more consistent because you really can say, okay, I want to go 3 times a week pumping, and you can do that because, you know, on lakes or on pool or whatever, you can go and find
And I
a
think
spot to
What
pump.
a lot of people don't realize, every foil is different in pumping. Some want to go really fast, and this curves, they just differ, and the way you pump foils is different. And if you don't know how to pump your foil and you're doing a dog start, it's really hard because you only have like a really small amount of time to get into the right pumping rhythm. And if you have a foil drive, and I take that shortcut for me, if I get a new foil, I put it on a foil drive, I take it out, I pump it, I get to know the foil, and then I go back to the dog start. And yeah, that just works really, really
Yeah,
well.
one more thing that I want to mention is that, for example, this summer that I was focusing more to pumping rather than wing foiling. In my personal experience, I was never that fit. I was like, really, my body changed. It was just great. So
It is. It's a really good fitness tool, isn't it? 'Cause,
yeah.
I mean, I used to be able to pump 2.5 minutes from a dock start. I honestly don't think I could make a minute at the moment because the last year and a half I've been doing so much, you know, work behind my laptop or just with my phone or whatever. But this year I intend to set myself some goals and challenges, and I'll definitely be tracking all of my progress and my results. And I'm actually going to be doing that by measuring my fitness by how long I can pump for. I'll do a separate video about all of that. But yeah, Andrea, what you said about the pumping can be really dynamic. Completely agree with you. In the pool at the first weekend,
They are crazy.
the pump foil races were so dynamic. It was.
It was
I've
on a
never
different
seen-
level.
yeah, it
Like that's
really
something.
was. I think they had 2 different style of races. One seemed to be like just everybody went and like it seemed to be carnage, but it was very exciting. And the other one which really got me was there were 2 people going at the same time, and they had to zigzag around these boys and then
One-on-one.
pump back. It was 1-on-1, yeah, and that for me was super exciting because you could follow everybody through the heats, and the eventual winner, Benjamin May, I would just like to put it out there, is also a foil drive team rider, so very, very talented.
Got some extra practice here and there.
So
And they were on tiny foils. Like
yeah, I couldn't pump them the way that they were doing. It's very impressive.
And some of them even had straps on their wall, like tiny wall straps, and then you have to be really fast at the beginning and still manage to get in the straps. And they didn't like land on the ball and then fiddle their feet into the straps. They landed right into the straps. Amazing skills.
Yeah, yeah. So pump foiling, I think, is going to be another massive focus for 25. Anything else?
Yeah, sorry, I think we forgot to mention one very important thing, and that's the fact that we have an office in Europe now is a big difference.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people really appreciated that, specifically the dealers, also dealers that have not been onboarded yet. Like the fact that we mentioned that we have our office, that we have our logistics in the Netherlands, that we're able to ship from the Netherlands throughout Europe. So bringing back lead times. We take care of the import and everything and the VAT. So I think that's also going to be a really big step for us the coming year, and that's a game changer, I guess.
Yeah.
So
100%. In terms of the service that we can deliver.
Yeah.
Not only reliability, but just having that stock here is going to be so good.
Well, it also shows that we're taking Europe serious, and that we really that we invest as a company in growing into Europe and treating our customers, the dealers or the consumers, like really serious, because that's what they appreciate, and I think that's really important.
100%, yeah. And pretty much all of that has been down to your hard work to get all the...
Well, it was not my intention of starting this topic, but...
no, that's just credit where credit
but
is
it
due.
is important, and it's really, the feedback was really good on that one. And I think it takes, and that's why being on board right now was a really good move. I think it was just the exact perfect moment coming from, oh, you're an Australian company. No, we're not. We are, but we're here in Europe as well. And this is serious, like we're here to stay. And I think the same for, let's talk real quick, the new stuff you're putting out, like the HP batteries, the new HP motor, the new remote. People see that, and then you can already tell, like, oh, is my unit becoming obsolete? But it's not, and that's something a lot of people appreciate. If you say no, the key unit you have in between your board and mast, that's here to stay. We will have improvements, there will be new products in the whole four-wheel drive cosmos. And if you go by wings and front wings, it's like the cycle becomes so fast. You buy something, the next day you get a newsletter, oh, there's a new front wing. And that's people were really kind of worried about. They say, what? Should I wait for like another couple of months? Is there going to be an update? And it's like, no, you're fine. This is what you need. And if you need something else, you can add it on. It all bolts and fits to your unit.
Yeah.
I think that's really nice.
Yeah, the Gen 2 systems are not going to change for a long time.
And that's
they're
a
here
really
to stay.
polished product.
Yeah, and Paul's already shown that they are going to, well, they have already been improvements that every Gen 2 owner can access. So it doesn't matter when you bought your Gen 2, you can increase its runtime if you want by getting the high power battery. You can increase the amount of power that you have by getting the high power motor. There's not many tech products out there in the world that a year after you've bought it, it actually improves. Yes. Most of them, like you say, become obsolete, but full drive, Paul has engineered it and planned it and designed it so that it can get better year on year. I mean, that's obviously not going to be forever. There are limits to everything, but for the foreseeable future, the Gen 2 system is robust, and it's a very good system that's here to stay.
That's a lot of people are actually concerned about something being robust. We have salt water, we've got corn, that's so many things. But I clocked more than 100 hours on my unit this year, just foil driving, and I did a lot more foiling, and I had zero problems. And that was something that surprised me as well, like nothing.
Yeah.
And it looks really, I treated good, so it looks like new.
When you consider the environment that it's in, it's one of the harshest environments you could possibly put a tech product through. And if you see what Andrea and I have to push our demo fleet through, oh my goodness me, those units get flogged and flogged and flogged, and they are still going, and they work perfectly, don't they? I mean, the boards and the foils get more of a pasting than the Max and Slim boxes. So they certainly are robust. I think sometimes I feel you could drive a truck over them and they'd still work. Please don't try that. just an analogy.
And I actually had a few customers coming up to me, already really familiar with the full drive system, and they said, being so transparent in maybe some updates or some minor problems they had, and Paul made some announcement, and they really appreciate that. It's just, instead of saying, oh, if we've got something, we're going to hide it away, they go, no, that's the problem, and that's the solution, and that's how we fix it. And that's what people really like. And that's going back to surfers making stuff for surfers, and it just works. And that's not just a marketing slogan. That's how it works, and that's what I really believe and feel.
Oh, they've always been transparent about everything that they've done concerning their product. It's they don't want to make people feel like Full Drive is I don't know, in some way trying to get one over on anybody. Full Drive is a genuine product made by genuine people, and they just want other people to be able to have fun on the water. So when they release figures about the weight of the product or the power rating or whatever, it's genuine. Other products put out 4,000 watt motor. Well, yeah, our motor has a potential power output for 4,000 watts, but we don't publicise that because our system doesn't use 4,000 watts. The system uses, I think it's 17 or 1800 watts. So we're all about putting real life figures out there, rather than the theoretical potential maximum that a system can handle, but would never ever actually use. So it's all out there for people to look at the figures and go, okay, Full Drive system is capable of doing all of this. It's still got the best power to weight ratio of any foiler system on the market. It's built for performance and it delivers. So
we had a guy rocking up with a Gen 1.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That was such a funny story.
And he managed to break the screen.
Yeah.
And because it was good that you're familiar, you've had a Gen 1.
I've repaired it.
It was such a quick fix. You're like, take this apart, just order this, and
but it was so funny
up
because
and going again. And he was happy.
Yeah.
He was still happy with the Gen 1.
But he came up, and you were doing the demo actually, so I had a conversation with him in general, and then like on different things. And then he said, yeah, actually, I do have a Gen 1, and he took it out. Because I have a problem, because I cracked the screen. I did it by myself. It was not like a product failure. He did something stupid, and he was very open on that. And then Dom came, still dripping wet with his board, and I said, hey Dom, can you take a look at this? So he was still in his wetsuit, and just helping the guy, like, you need to take this screw, and then you take it off, and then you need to be careful here and there. And unfortunately, we don't have the spare parts in Europe, like you're very open, so you would need to order that in Australia. And he was really happy. And then we gave him a shirt and a cap, and he like put on his shirt right away. And then it turned out that you knew him from where you live. So I think the guy was like really like, oh, this is so great that like really.
He was still like, even with a cracked screen, he was running. It was just he couldn't tell the battery capacity, and he was like, well, I'm still up and running, but it would be nice to see the battery capacity. So that he was like, and he was happy.
It was a very simple fix. I showed him how to disconnect everything, and then when he receives the part, he now knows how to connect it all back together. But yeah, again, it just shows how well designed all of the Full Drive systems are, because if any one bit does have an accident, you can just replace it. Paul's designed it to be modular, so broken your screen, no problem, here's a replacement, and it's actually simpler than you think to swap it out.
Yeah.
And I think we had the rack with all the spare parts, bits and pieces. I think that was pretty impressive to see for people, and they say, oh, if I need something.
Yeah.
It's not all any updates or something, it's just whatever you need. Like, sure.
Well, I got that idea from when we were at AWSI. I've forgotten the name of the shop, but they hosted a Full Drive meet and greet one evening, and I was so impressed by their shop display. And it was literally like what we did, just a wire rack with all those little hangers up, and all of our spares and accessories just all lined up on that wire rack hanger thing, and formed a nice part of the display. That bar was good, wasn't it? That huge, great bar.
Yeah.
I was worried when it rocked up. I was like,
it looked pretty good.
You just took down one table.
From setting that stall up, 12 meters by 3 meters, when we first arrived, it was massive. And we
Yeah.
thought, we were worried about, are we going to fill this? This is just too big. And then as we unpacked everything from the van and the trailer, it was like, we need a bigger booth. And then finally we whittled it down, and when that bar arrived, it was a little bit smaller in my mind, and it arrived, it was like, this will never fit. But it actually worked. It became the centerpiece.
Yeah, it was
the TV
really
behind
amazing.
it, and gave everyone a sort of a place to stand around and sort of lean against it and look at the products and chat about everything. Yeah, it was a good productive 9 days. We've worked. Let's face it, we've worked very hard. We deserve a little bit of a rest.
For sure.
Yeah. So safe travels to you too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Same to you.
Me and JP just driving over the border. Really, that's all we've got to do. Just a few hours drive, and then next port of call, you and me in the UAE, visiting Bengen at
can't wait for
Windward DXB, the full drive dealer in the UAE. So we'll go and visit him, put on a meet and greet, do some demos and some clinics, get a little bit of winter sun. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Sweet.